Fiona Ferrans from Auckland. And now Daryl Lovegrove, who takes the lead role of Jesus Christ Superstar, currently running in Auckland, will sing God Defend New Zealand, accompanied by the Waihirere Maori group from Gisborne.
God of nations at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God defend our free land. God Pacific's triple star, from the shafts of strife and war. Make her praises heard afar. God defend New Zealand.
Daryl Lovegrove. Okay, John Hart, it looks as pretty as a picture. What about the conditions?
The conditions are absolutely perfect here at Eden Park. You've got a 50,000 crowd and the ground is really good and no wind.
The South Africans form up to face the challenge of the All Black haka. All set to go. The first test was won by the All Blacks. The second test won by the All Blacks. And now referee Robert Yemen from Wales, in just his second major international, comes to control what should be, what could be, one of the great games. Excellent conditions. South Africa with so much to play for. They'd love to go home with at least one test win. Referee Robert Yemen from Wales signals, and it's a test match on a calm day, and they immediately award a penalty against the All Blacks. They took a player out before the catch, and Andre Joubert kicks the touch. Former All Black coach John Hart is with me. What sort of a game would you like to see, John?
I'd like to see the ball move today, and I really think we may do. I think the South Africans will. The big question is, do the All Blacks have the ability midfield to free the ball out wide? And that's what we'll be looking for today.
First line out, we see Francois Pienaar going to the front. South Africans have rearranged their line out. Johan Roux is the scrum half again. Taken by Adrian Richter. Away to Steve Atherton, who'll wear number 4 today. It's a midfield position. There's halfway. There's the high ball from Roux. Howarth coming forward, the local favourite. They love him on this ground. Let's go to the sideline now. Former All Black captain Stuart Wilson.
Well, that just shows you that Shane Howarth is a classy boy. It's on his home ground at Eden Park. Well taken, Shane Howarth, under a lot of pressure early on. And I'm a bit like John Hart, Keith. I'm looking at Frank Bunce and Alama Uramia to free up Howarth, KIrwan and Timu today out wide. I'd like to see them run with the ball in hand.
There's one that's slid to the midfield. Joubert has let it go right back over the goal line. And that was a bit of a surprise miss kick, a bit of a nervous one from Stephen Basham.
Yes, it was a bad kick, and the South Africans didn't cover it, so it turned out to be a good kick. South African 22 drop out.
Henny LaRue, number 10. Up they go. Robin Brook got the tap. It's a bit of bobble ball. It's gone on the South African side. Roux back to the South African tactic, which they've really come to late in the tour, of using the left boot of this man, Andre Joubert, on that side.
Good clearance there from Joubert. The South African line-out looks a lot stronger today. Van Heerden coming into the line-out. Already you've seen a back of a line-out throw. Joubert, I think, will be one of the key players today.
Up at the front, Mark Andrews is jumping. He's against Robin Brook. There's number 7 in the green. Is Fritz van Heerden. Look how tall he is. And an arm went across from Fritz van Heerden. He must allow his opposite number to jump. Bit of a jungle in there.
I think he might have penalised Pienaar for putting an arm across.
A better kick from Stephen Batcher. Francois Pienaar there. His 11th test match today.
Interesting playing without headgear today. Means he's absolutely confident. 4-man line out.
30 metres out. Fitzpatrick pitching it towards a big jump from Ian Jones. Away to Blair Larson. That's the 22-metre line. Coming over for Graham Batcher. And here's a handy penalty after just a couple of minutes. It's more or less out in front as we look at the shell replay. And a hand went over and prevented the ball being cleared.
One of the forwards a little over-anxious, and it's those sort of mistakes that the South Africans can't afford. If they're going to have any chance of winning this game, they're going to have to get in it early, and they can't afford to get behind too far on the scoreboard, and here's an easy chance for Shane Howard.
South African coach Ian McIntosh, a lot on the line for him this afternoon. Shane Howard landed 6 from 7 in the first test in Dunedin and 1 from 5 in Wellington. 20 test points altogether. 2 big steps around before he's set to go. Well struck. 3 to New Zealand after just 5 minutes. Taken in by the New Zealanders from the kickoff. It's coming this time for Graham Batcher, and he's put that one in as an attacking kick. Joubert at halfway. He's secure under his first catch. He tried to float the pass around the corner there to Chester Williams, but he's very sparky up from fullback.
He's a very good attacker, and he showed his skills then. He went through round 2 All Blacks, but tried to get the ball in field, and it goes to the ground. Here's a scrum. All Blacks could kick from the halfback. I think this is an area where I think South Africa are going to have trouble today. I have doubts about Keith Andrews' scrummaging ability, and that's going to be a big issue. We've got the line umpire out with his flag out down here at the moment.
This is Scott Young. He's a long way from the game. That's the Wayne Erickson you see in the background there. He's not flagging, and the referee Robert Yemen hasn't seen that flag for rough play. He'll see it now because it's coming right across. And let's see what Scott Young does. He's still got his flag out. He's signaled now to Robert Yemen, the referee.
Whatever it was, the referee has seen it, and the game goes on.
Francois Pienaar had a very bad concussion in the 3rd game against Wellington. That was 10 games ago. This is the first game he hasn't worn the headgear since he's come back. Keith Andrews there. Barley Swart, the 2 props who've come in for this test. Not well controlled. Well picked up Ian Jones. Fitzpatrick in to help.
John Fitzpatrick not happy that the line umpire has called it out, but I think you'll find that he was in touch as the ball was played from him back in field. Ian Jones come to the front of the line out to try and interfere with Mark Andrews' throw.
The Bishop brothers. Alama Iramia, good running conditions today. Brendan Fender, number 12. Mike Brewer. Now that's a good strong charge from Brewer. He's gone down into good position. It's freed up for the Bishops. And Timu is there. Fitzpatrick waiting in the wings. 22-metre line. Richard Lowe picking it up. Number 1, Richard Lowe. Bishop. Stephen Bishop. Frank Bunce. KIrwan. Fenter made the tackle. Larson. 15 metres out. John Timu. Robin Brook. A very good tackle there. This is excellent play by New Zealand. KIrwan. Ian Jones. Sheer speed here of the ball beating the man. Howard backing up superb. Alama Iramia. Bishop the front pass. Zinzan Brook. Look at this. It's like touch football. Timu. Howard. There's a penalty up there for the head high from Van Heerden.
Well, Van Heerden has a tendency to give the penalties away, and he's given one here away going across the shoulders and has been penalised for it right in front of the post. And that was a great passage of play from the All Blacks. Stretched it wide. A couple of wrong options may have been taken. They took the ball infield once when they had it on wide outside. But the ball skills were excellent. The continuity was there, and the All Blacks now are looking like getting a 6-point margin with the kick in front of the post.
John, when they brought John KIrwan in from his wing after the second, third phase play, I think that was the wrong option you're referring to.
That was the mistake. They obviously had called the move early, and they didn't play the game which was on the outside, and I think a try was opened out wide.
Good to see John Timu turning up on both sides of the park. Big John KIrwan, the local favourite, his 63rd international for New Zealand. He's the all-time All Black Test record holder.
Wasn't given the ball in the second test. First touch of it here today has made the broken tackle.
It's from more or less the same position from where Howarth goal 5 minutes ago. Hits it hard, flat and through. 6-0, 10 minutes gone.
Excellent start by the All Blacks. They've dominated the possession and position, and the South Africans just haven't got in the game as yet.
New Zealand coach Laurie Mains. Robin Brook, number 5. Mike Brewer, number 7. And Barley Swart didn't see that the ball was at his feet and played it accidentally forward.
Interesting to watch the scrum. Richard Lowe against Keith Andrews.
There they are on this side. LaRue, Fenter. Oh, lovely break, Mulder! Talk about wrong option. There were 2 men outside him, hanging loose. There they are now. Chester Williams going very close.
Well, that was an absolute certain try blown. Mulder did everything right until he went back infield. He's gone infield and he's left Chester Williams and unmarked outside. Certain try lost, South Africa.
There's Yapi Mulder. He'll be kicking himself. The save is made by Graham Bishop. Yapi Mulder, the 24-year-old, he burst through. There were 2 players to his right, Williams and Gavin Johnson.
Yes, Keith, I could understand that. I mean, that was a simple break, a beautiful move, well executed, men outside. Always pass to the men outside you, and that's basically 5 points just gone.
John Allen on the 22. Mark Andrews has been a revelation at lineouts on this tour. Kicked a touch by John Allen.
Getting very messy, however, and the All Blacks are mucking up the ball.
John Allen is suggesting to the touch judge that it deflected off a New Zealand player, but the throw-in's gone to New Zealand. That's not really Alama Irmia's best side. Let's look at this against you, Wilson.
Well, it was a well-executed move. Look, there was a simple miss-out pass there. Joubert got cut out. He just gave space to Mould, and look at that. 2 men. Chester Williams, thank you very much. No wrong option.
That's 5 points gone begging. Allen throws. Van Heerden. Roux. LaRue. Well, that's Van Heerden there. So who was doing the jumping back at line-out time? Atherton, perhaps. Bit nervous, the big fella here, Fritz Van Heerden, in just his 3rd test match, with the first one in this series. South Africa just a slightly bigger pack this afternoon. Brooke. Graham Basham, the bouncer. Joubert down the touchline. Everything the New Zealand team are doing are very snappy. That's look at that for the brothers combining, and Stephen Basham gets his kick away to touch. Michael Jones to the left there among the New Zealand reserves, coming into the squad for the first time this season. Namesake in the team, back after missing the 2nd test. Van Heerden, Johan Roux. Howarth having to run. Good catch again by Shane Howarth. Joubert. Out on the full.
Well, South African tactically really are lacking. I mean, Johan Roux, that was a shocking kick, went nowhere, and the South Africans were up to run it. He kicked it into Howarth, who's put Joubert under pressure, and now the All Blacks hard on attack. South Africa just not making the judgment right.
The short line out for New Zealand that time. And Richard Lowe is penalised for taking out Mark Andrews, who shouldered him out of the way. Penalty for South Africa. Johan Roux there. It wasn't a good kick, was it, the number 9 put in? But here's a man who can use his left boot here. Gets it away to touch that time. He had a very good game here earlier in the season for Natal in the Super 10 against Western Samoa. Remember that one? He scored 33 points in the game. So the pressure's on the 25-year-old here. Richard Lowe. 43rd test match. South Africans are doing pretty well at line-out time. Pienaar into Zinzan Brook there. 2 sets of brothers in the New Zealand team. Henny LaRue. Mulder this time. Chester Williams. And the referee's called Frank Bunce for a high tackle. Not a particularly dangerous one. It was more like brushing his face, but in principle, the referee has called it against Frank Bunce.
Well, I don't think he had any option. He certainly went high. As you said, Keith, it wasn't a hard tackle, but it was high, and we'll just watch it here. Chester Williams goes infield, and Bunce goes up around the collar and slides up.
Now, Gavin Johnson coming into the game. He's only been in the country a little over a week. Playing on the right wing, he's been fullback and fly half in first-class rugby in South Africa while the tour's been on. But he's a very good goal kicker, and they're pleased to have him. Let's watch. 17 minutes gone. The word is pressure. Test match pressure. It bears down more heavily than a lot of players realise, and that was a nervous stab at the ball by Gavin Johnson.
Yes, he certainly didn't kick through it. Paid the penalty. Howarth.
Oh, that's a good catch by Johnson. Now here he goes as a right winger. And not having a very happy beginning, Gavin Johnson. Just a couple of words of encouragement from Keith Andrews, his prop. He's from Transvaal. And he's in the team to improve their point production, but not so far.
Squeeze it, Bash. Squeeze it.
Ian Jones. Graham Basham. Johnson coming forward. Deflected by Fitzpatrick to Ola Brown. 45 metres out. It hit Bunce on the chest. Yapi Mulder. Richter, advantage is being played. LaRue to Pina. I think advantage might have conked out. Now the referee is still signalling. LaRue. Chester Williams chasing very hard.
Well, that was a much better kick by Johan Roux. He's put the All Blacks back into the corner. Chester Williams putting the pressure on then and chasing the kick. And the All Blacks on defence.
And a good advantage played by referee Robert Yemen.
That was awful back play by our midfield. They've got to be more decisive. They must be clear in what they're doing. That was a simple skip pass. And it looks as if Frank Bunce didn't know he was expecting it.
South Africa on attack, New Zealand throw. It's gone to Johan Roux. That was a bit of a bonus one. Now what's referee Yemen saying?
He said that the All Blacks have knocked it on at line-out time first, and that's where the first infringement is.
So a royal position for South Africa. A quarter of the game gone. Mulder gets caught by the man they said couldn't tackle, Stephen Basham. Henny LaRue, Johnson, Williams, Johnson, yes! He is there for point production. Gavin Johnson, 6-5.
Excellent try here. Henny LaRue puts Johnson away. Williams does very well. Holds up in the tackle. Johnson has doubled him and goes in very close to the corner. That's a wonderful try.
This is where it all set up. Yapi Mulder goes in hard. They get very quick ruck ball, which is what they've got to do in these situations. And they go again with the same flow of the movement down the right-hand side. Good hands and good doubling around, but set up well by Yapi Mulder.
I don't think the All Blacks will be happy with that defence because they had 2-on-2 if you keep an eye on it. Well set up by Mulder midfield. The South Africans came in, cleared it quickly. Johan Roux to Henny LaRue, puts it to Johnson. Johnson wide to Williams. Williams straightens and stops Timu enough for Johnson to come around the outside.
Gavin Johnson trying to convert his own try.
Well, that's a marvellous kick from Johnson, and he'll certainly have his confidence up now. Scores a great try, converts.
The halfway spot. The ball to be kicked from there by Shane Howe. New Zealand players will be shocked by that. Here's a man who'll be satisfied to a point. Richter going down. Johan Roux banging it high. Howard with Brook getting behind him. Terrific take by Shane Howard. Basham. Richter and Joubert are back. The old story, get your body between the touch line and the ball, and then they make use of the expert boot of Andre Joubert.
That was very well taken by Shane Howard. Under pressure, he got rolled by the whole forward pack, still managed to secure the ball for Basham to put it back into South African territory. He's had a strong start.
Ian Jones, more good work. Stephen Basham, again, the test for Joubert. You see the wingers getting back behind him. Well taken. He's taken a quick one. Low and flat.
Joubert reveling in the opportunity. I just think the fact that he hasn't got goal kicking today, he's really relaxed and he's into the game. He's an exciting rugby player.
Yes, he's class all written, hasn't he?
Robin Brook, it's an intriguing battle at line-out time. Both sides have had some good ball. More complaints. Van Heerden on to Basham. We go back to referee Yemen, who calls it a knock-on.
Scrums, the line-outs are very tight. South African scrum still holding up well. African backline very flat.
South Africa hasn't won a test match on Eden Park for 57 years. They lead by after 23 minutes by 7-6. Graham Basham. Lost. Richter. Rue. Atherton, the English-born player. Chester Williams.
Dangerous move then from the South Africans. I think Atherton wondered what he was doing in the clear, and he had to think about getting it back, but the support play knocks it on. South Africans playing with a little more confidence. Have a look here. He looks again. He said, and
from the scrum it was charged down. Van Heerden and KIrwan. Referee Robert Yemen seems a cheerful fellow.
Seems very happy with himself. Gave up rugby because of bad eyesight. That would be the only thing that would worry me, Keith.
Plays in contact lenses, he is quick to inform us. John Allen, South Africa are in the lead. That wasn't straight. Oh, outside arm.
There's a lot of pressure on the line-out, so really squeezing them up. What's the outside arm? He's adjudged here, and he's correct. It's Mark Andrews going up and pushing.
Referee Robert Yemen has controlled only one major international, a fixture between Ireland and Romania. He did 3 matches in the World Cup qualifying series, which saw Morocco and Ivory Coast, Zimbabwe and Namibia competing for a spot.
Again, they've made the mistake of the outside arm and they've given the ball away.
Look at the outside arm. Same fellow. Mark Andrews, 2 in a row. KIrwan, this is a new variation. It's well done too, but stops there, 5 metres short of the halfway line. Good pass. Timu got away from Andrews.
Some big tackles there. Both sides, some big tackles.
So the interminable problem of the gaps in the line-out. The whistle's gone. This doesn't count. This is not counting. Or as they used to say, this is not happening, because the referee's whistle is gone.
2 games going on. These guys are enjoying the one down the front here. But what's happening at line-out time is interesting. Ian Jones on Mark Andrews' throw has come to the front and is really getting in front of him and whacking the ball. He's got caught that time for not 5 yards. Hence the scrum to South Africa.
The foul base. Coming on the side of Johan Rue. Probes for a little gap. Referee got grabbed then. Pienaar. Well tackled by Oliver Brown. Allen. Rue. Deflection off a New Zealand player. Funny bounce at halfway, Howard. Shane Howard just bounced it into the in-goal area. A restart from the 22. 28 minutes gone. South Africa 7, New Zealand 6. A converted try to 2 penalty goals. Mike Brewer, number 7. Sean Fitzpatrick, number 2. Atherton. Behind him, Barley Swan. It's a fumble there by Roux. And he's hurt himself, Johan Roux.
Well, he hasn't had a happy game. He's made 2 or 3 mistakes, dropping the ball at crucial times, and that one was crucial. He wasn't under pressure, and now he's put his team under pressure. Have a look, he was about to pass it and dropped it.
Brooke. Alama Idemir left it behind. Another new move. We haven't seen that one before.
Well moved, but a very interesting call by the referee, because Iramia, whilst he knocked the ball on, he was then tackled while trying to regain it, so he might have been unlucky.
The weight coming in from New Zealand. So there they are, the power base of the South African scrum and their New Zealand counterparts. Perspiration dripping off their faces. It's a warm afternoon, temperature about 16 degrees in Auckland today.
A lot of pressure on the front rows. They've gone down. Only they know who.
Back through his legs to Basham. Here's Bunce. Larson, number 6. Graham Basham, number 9. That swung that's run to the touchline from Steve Basham.
Well played, Stephen Basham. He knew that the South Africans were very up flat against him, and he has kicked it over them into touch. Have a look at Iramia here, does very well, flicks it through his legs, and Stephen Basham read it well.
It's down there on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. There's Gavin Johnson. He's just got a small cut above his eye.
He must go on. So James Small, Gavin Johnson comes off, and in the background James Small comes on, gets a bit of a mixed reception, but this will be a bit pleasing for James Small, because he continues his run in Test rugby, appearing in every international South Africa's had since they came back to Test football. Jones again at the front, this time Larson.
A lot of pressure in the front of that line-out. And Andrews was then looking for a throw to the back rather than his front, where Jones has got him. You watch Andrews goes back in the line-out and then comes unbalanced, and there's a circus.
You can see it's quite a little gash there above the right eye of Gavin Johnson. So James Small is in the ball game at the moment. That player can stay off for 10 minutes getting himself attended to in the blood bin. After that, he's deemed to have been replaced for the rest of the game. Before that, he can come back on. Iramia and Bunce. Small. Allen. Not about dumped by John Allen. Shane Howard in midfield. Hits it hard. Roux put out one hand, which is a bit dangerous. I think he can't kick it because he tapped it back behind the 22.
Good left-footed kick clearance from Joubert.
32 minutes gone. 7-6 to South Africa. So there's the line-out count.
It's pretty even, actually, and basically, Keith, they seem to be winning their own ball, really. Although occasionally Ian Jones has upset Mark Andrews. New Zealand line-out working well.
Brook at the front, Jones in the middle. Good throw, good jump, teamwork and timing. Halfway line. Allen can't come from there to play the ball.
Choice here of whether they kick for touch or have a shot at goal. Basham looks like kicking for touch.
So it's a try to Gavin Johnson. Conversion by Johnson, who's off the field for the moment. Howarth, 2 penalties. Sean Fitzpatrick, his 61st test for New Zealand. Graham Basham, his 22nd test. Ian Jones having a field day at the moment in the middle of the line. Basham again. Kicked away by Henny LaRue. Graham Basham and Henny LaRue in the main chases. A bounce favored Basham. Oh, well done, Small! Mulder. Richter, 10 metres out. Here it comes for South Africa. Henny LaRue. Fast hands. Can they get it up? Venter. Same corner. A try of South Africa. Brendan Venter. His first try in a test match.
Well, I don't think Shane Howard's going to be too pleased to have a look at the replay because it's a straight missed tackle on Brendan Venter. Have a look. Venter has gone round Howard and has scored in the corner. Excellent play, South Africa. Comes from a mistake where Basham was caught with the ball. The Shell replay shows Henny LaRue throws it wide. He knows the All Blacks are in trouble out there. Have a look here. James Small goes back, deliberately picks it up, and then he throws it outside to Venter. Venter's got a lot of work to do here, and Shane Howard gets stepped by Venter, and too much pace for Zinzan Brook coming across. The try scored in the same spot.
Watch this little palm of the pass from Joubert. Look at that, just a quick flick. Not really under a lot of control, but this is where it built up, and from this far out, 20 metres out, Brendan Venter has got a lot of gas, and I don't really think anyone would have stopped him, John.
Good try, South Africa. I thought they'd nearly blown it, actually. They should have scored in the far corner, but they blew it when Mulder went through and the pass went astray from Richter. But they have got out of it. Well done, and now the All Blacks under a little bit of pressure. 2 tries to 0.
Francois Pienaar, his team have missed a couple of tries, but they've taken a couple of tries in the right-hand corner. 4 minutes till half-time. It's 12 points to 6, the South Africans lead. Taken by Van Heerden. Taken by Zinzan Brook. Basham. Larson.
I think they may have lost the ball forward at a crucial time. Good strong run then from Zinzan Brook, who took it into the middle of the South Africans.
Oh, this is good rugby from South Africa, really. I think they're outplaying the All Blacks at the moment. The score tells you that, but I think they're a little bit more control in what they're doing with the ball.
Scrum is down. Penalty, New Zealand.
Well, this is an incredible call. It's a South African scrum. They had the ball, and he said that they've taken it down.
Francois Pienaar has gone forward to ask about it. Howarth is going to have the shot at goal. Ian McIntosh will be rueful, I'm sure, about that decision.
Well, it's a crucial decision in the way the game is going. I mean, it's 12-6 at just before half-time. If this gets slotted as 12-9, and that makes a totally different aspect to the way the All Blacks will play the second half. I mean, that's a really harsh decision.
Andrews did look as though he hit the ground first, but, you know, you've got to take it down intentionally, and I can't see why he would have taken it down then when they had the ball in control in the back of their scrum.
Lovely view in over the top, a slightly overcast day, but no sign of the thunderstorms that were predicted. LaRue kicks off. We hope you're enjoying this game through One World of Sport, especially at Channel 10 in Australia, Star TV throughout Asia, B-Sky B in Britain, Canal Plus in France, our very good friends right throughout the Pacific, and of course Mnet in South Africa, and I'm told Mnet also in Botswana. Michael Jones is warming up on the sideline. Well, is he putting it back on again?
There, Larson was limping earlier, and that may have been a precaution.
Van Heerden to Andrews to Pina. South Africa have got it. Running blindside alley and kicking into the corner. And that's floated wide from Joubert. Mistake by the pretty accomplished Natal fullback Andre Joubert.
Well, the All Blacks had the blind side absolutely covered, and Joubert decided that there was no point in running it, and he's tried to kick it.
Gavin Johnson, of course, back on the field. There he is with the headband now. Small is off the field. Right on halfway. Right on half-time. It's called not straight.
This will be the South Africans' last opportunity to score, I would think, in this half as we get countdown time. They're very flat on the right. Have a look at their backline formation. It is very flat.
Not too many New Zealand coaches would coach a backline to stand that way, John Hart.
No, it's different. Depends what they're going to do. Interestingly, as the scrum ball came back, they actually deepened their formation, but they still are very flat. If they can clear it in the middle, but they've got the space on the outside, and that's what they're looking for.
Right on half-time, Henny LaRue bangs it deep. Another slide angle kick.
I think you'll find that's why they were flat that time, because they decided Henny LaRue would kick and they were up for the chase. And here they are, they're going to have another opportunity. It's their line-out ball.
Action. We're in.
Ahead of you or behind?
I don't know, forest for the trees kind of thing, you know.
For 7 years, 136 games, 57 tests, 622 tries, 16 countries.
Africa can take the test, or whether New Zealand can complete a three-match clean sweep. Henny LaRue begins the second half. You're watching it on One World of Sport. Taken by Larson, and the same penalty begins the second half, which began the first. The players charging forward got there too soon. John Hart.
Well, the South Africans had a very good first half in terms of ball utilisation. They scored a couple of good tries. And now the All Blacks have to respond. 3 penalties. They really haven't looked like scoring a try, although they played fluently from time to time.
So, John, I think what the All Blacks have got to do, they've got to take the game to South Africa. I thought they just were just a little hesitant mid the last 20 minutes in that first half, where South Africa scored a one good try when they should have really closed them down a lot quicker.
South Africa have 2 tries from Gavin Johnson and Brendan Fenter, 2 of their backs.
The All Blacks have been penalised for pulling them all down as the South Africans were making headway. Looks like it's a 55-yard kick. It's a long kick. But he's going to have a go.
The headband has come off Gavin Johnson, and he's going to find the kicking tee. And look at this. It's a still afternoon. There's virtually no wind. And it's a massive distance that Gavin Johnson will send it. He is a most accomplished goal kicker. Let's look at that again.
I think it's Nzambrook who's penalised for taking it down, Keith, as the ball was gathering momentum.
Not too far away. Fell short. Shane Howard bangs it back to halfway. Great kick by Howard. So Johnson's kick fell short. James Small and Ollie LaRue watching the sideline.
There's only question mark about that kick. You did give the All Blacks the opportunity of clearing. Maybe it might have been better to have put the ball into the corner. It's a big kick.
Knock on there by Steve Batchett. Referee Yemen saying to Fitzpatrick to watch the obstruction at the front of the line out. Controversial penalty late in the half, awarded by referee Robert Yemen against South Africa for collapsing the scrum. Howard kicked the goal. It was the South African put in. That closed it up to 12-9. LaRue cut out past Joubert. Williams. Timmer was the tackler. Andre Joubert. He's in for his attacking running. Johan Roux. Richter. Joubert in again. Overlap. Johnson. Forward pass. And maybe that's another try that they've spilled. Chester Williams was on the receiving end of the forward pass. He had a bit of work to do, however.
Well, Johnson does well here, but then the ball unfortunately flicks forward. And the All Blacks have scuffled it away.
22-metre line. Not bound. Penalty New Zealand. Nzambrook to Jones. It's 30 metres out from the New Zealand line.
Blair Larson doesn't look good. He's been limping for a while. Michael Jones coming onto the field, if he does, would be a big call for the All Blacks. And look at the crowd.
Listen to the ovation. As Michael Jones, a local favourite, a national favourite, comes onto the field where he's brought great honour to himself in the game, and sadness for Blair Larson as he leaves. Michael Jones in for his 34th test and his first for 1994.
This gives the All Blacks the mobility they may need to get in support.
Number 23, Michael Jones. Timu. It's kicked to Williams at halfway. Joubert is having an increased involvement in the early moments of the second half.
Well, he's certainly looking to get into the play. It wasn't a great kick from John Timu then, and Chester Williams and Andre Joubert read it well. Joubert coming round the outside of Williams and kicking into touch. Michael Jones, add to mobility. Maybe Blair Larson's loss will be the line out at the back, where Van Heerden may now start to get some dominance.
Fitzpatrick to throw. Jones right down as the tail gunner opposite Richter. Roux. Jones ran wide and signalled to Roux to come inside, and there he was taken by Brewer. 22-metre line. Referee Emmons says, quick whistle, boys. It's a bit dangerous in there.
Good play again from the South Africans.
Well, the latest on the...
Sorry, Stu, their backs are really looking sharp with the ball today.
Annie LaRue gets a chance to put a high one in. Howarth again with Robin Brook.
South Africans penalised then for going round and not releasing the ball. It was a good kick from LaRue.
So John Allen coming over, battling away with Fitzpatrick at the front of the line-out. It's the 5th time they've opposed each other in tests. Ian Jones, good work in the line-out, near halfway. A quick tap by Basham. Brewer bursting. Jones there. Stopped by Andrews. Cleared away quickly. Advantage being played. Well, the New Zealand supporters will be looking at the referee. They're wondering if he was going to award a penalty for that knockdown by Fenter. Sometimes British referees do.
And I think he should have, because Fender did not try to get the ball. He tried to knock it away. So the All Blacks may be unlucky there that they haven't got a penalty midfield. Great attacking opportunity. The Bunce and KIrwan on the right.
Bunce caught by LaRue. Jones, Brewer. Brewer doing some good things here in the last few moments. Now penalty for New Zealand. 40 metres out. This could... Played it in the tackle. This could tie it up. Here's Mike Brewer. Been in and out of the All Blacks since 1986. Here he is in the Shell profile. His 24th Test match. And there's the distance for Shane Howarth. And you see the score there. It could be tied up at 12 all if this ball goes over.
Adrian Richter, keep an eye on here. Michael Jones flicks it to Brewer, who's taken by Richter. Richter goes down and does not let the ball go. He tries to play it, and he gets penalised, although the ball was coming clear. A technical decision that goes against the South Africans.
Remember, virtually no breeze today. 9 minutes gone, second half. Safe and secure. The game's all tied up. Chester Williams has this one inside the touchline. And he's tackled hard on Robin Brook. And it's gone on the South African side. Kicked away by Zinzanbrook. Referee's whistle. There's the staring eyes, the wild eyes of Ian McIntosh. And this time it's Robin Brook who was injured. Was there a clunking of heads when he was tackled from behind by Chester Williams? Back on the park where he played so well, bit of smelling salts there. Back on the park where he played so well for New Zealand against the British Isles and Western Samoa last year. Here's Williams kicked through in the shell replay.
As you watch here as Robin Brook takes the ball, Chester Williams chases it. It goes forward, and in fact, you could have said that Sean Fitzpatrick played that in an offside position. The ball slipped forward. Actually, I think it might have been Williams who freed it up out of Brook's hands. South Africans should attack blindside. Zinzanbrook standing on the open.
Roux has joined the scrummage here. Johan Roux. Now he steps off. Richter. Van Heerden. Few fumbles. Did it go forward? Johan Roux. The pass to Chessie Williams. Nice ball coming though, I think. Yes. LaRue. He's tried the drop kick. Charge down. Edemir to Timu.
Well, not a great option by Henny LaRue. Just could not see that he could have hit that drop kick, and it's charged down by Zinzanbrook, I think. And the All Blacks have got out, and now it's South Africa under pressure.
Guys, I'm just a little concerned that it's 12 all. The South Africans have scored 2 fine tries in the first 40 minutes, and I've yet to see any phase of play for more than one ruck where the All Blacks have mounted an attack and even looked like scoring.
12 minutes gone. Second half. One World of Sport bringing you the action live from Eden Park. Edemir. LaRue and Fenter working together to hold him down. Stephen Basham. Joubert coming forward. Beautiful by Joubert. Hit hard by Bunce.
Big tackle in the corner. Joubert equal to the occasion. A bit of shepherding went on back here when Joubert got clear. Puts a kick in. Bruntz is committed to a tackle. It was awfully high, however. And I think that's what the South Africans were complaining about.
Michael Jones. An awkward tap, though, for Basham. Out on the full.
Michael Jones showing his great leaping ability. Didn't control it, but boy, does he get up. He can still spring higher than most.
The shell profile of this fine New Zealand sportsman who scored the first try in the World Cup final on this ground in 1987. Among many other marvellous achievements in the game. Fitzpatrick is penalised. Francois Pienaar is frustrated. I think it might have been number 5, Andrews, who was penalised coming in. You see him diving in there, and he seemed to dash his hands on the head of Fitzpatrick. Midfield now, play resumes. Basham running wide. Edemir. Jones. Stephen Basham. Johnson's taken it down. Michael Jones disappointed there, but that burst of speed still there.
Well, if this doesn't prove the point you need, a fast open side flanker. Already Michael Jones is making an impression. The continuity game is real when you have a Michael Jones on the field.
Australian viewers, take note. The Bledisloe Cup match coming up in a few days' time. 17th of August, in fact, a night match from Sydney. New Zealand against Australia. One match for the Bledisloe Cup. One for the trivia people. Has there ever been a number 23 on the field before in a test match? I don't know. I wonder what happened to jersey 21 and 22. Johan Roux. It's a jungle in there. Possession very close. South Africa just having a fraction more in the game. Territory's exactly the same.
South African scrum here.
So Mike Brewer's around on the blind side where he's played a lot of his rugby and where a lot of New Zealanders might say he might be better suited. Irami awaiting Howarth coming forward. Going inside the 10-metre circle, the man in green.
Well, he's taken the scrum, and I'm sure that the penalty was the better option because they could have kicked it for touch. But anyhow, they've taken the scrum, they had the attacking opportunity.
Barley Swart, John Allen, Keith Andrews. Keith Andrews, a cousin of Mark Andrews, the second row, the first time they've played a test together. Zinzan Brook. Jones. Ian Jones. And Fenter puts Fitzpatrick. And there's a fight breaking out midfield. The game goes on.
Well, this is an unfortunate incident. Brendan Fender has been penalised, but to be quite honest, the one that should have been penalised was Sean Fitzpatrick. But he held him on, and Fender was trying to get out of the ruck, and Fitzpatrick didn't let him out. Have a look, he's holding, so he gives him one. Shouldn't do it, but the penalty in front of the ref should have gone the other way right at the start.
So Fenter, the 24-year-old doctor from Bloemfontein, is penalised, but it may have been an injustice there if we're looking at it with two eyes. Fitzpatrick was hanging onto his jersey, and that's what Fenter gestured to the referee. But as John Hart said, he should not have punched, and that's what caught the attention of the referee, and so the penalty is awarded, and this could put New Zealand into the lead. It's all about discipline.
Well, they can't complain. They're not allowed to do that, although he was caught for retaliating, but they really have given penalties away again under pressure, and they are all around the post. I mean, this is the fifth chance that we've seen from Shane Howard today, and they've all been within 30 yards of the post.
Minutes left to play in the game. Steve Atherton goes in over the top. Have the South Africans got the spark, got the fire to come back? They played 2 Gixon tries in the first 40 minutes. Now they've got it to Henry LaRue, to Pino, and Jones is penalised there. It was a high charge, dangerous tackle by Michael Jones, according to the referee. Look at this again. Number 23 is Michael Jones.
Well, watch this. Pienaar goes in, and Michael Jones goes, unfortunately, up high and round the head, and that's the penalty.
An impeccable sportsman, Michael Jones, but that one was called high by the referee. You know, I can only remember maybe one other tackle like that ruled against Jones in all his football. There was one at Twickenham one time, early in the World Cup, John.
Yes, he certainly, you know, he's a great player, and that was just, he didn't go for the head, but it went high and it slid round the head, and so no option to the referee.
Johnson with a chance to put the Springboks back in the lead. Well, it's all tied up, in fact, 15 all. My mistake, 15 all. It's a good game, John. Reminds me of the 1981 game, which we ended up, what, 25-22?
Great atmosphere here. Crowd starting to get into the game. vital stage of a game. We're midway through the second half. Who's going to get the break? It's 15 all.
Stay with us. The game is 3/4 concluded. 20 minutes to play, and they've gone back to a tied-up ball game. Bolo Brown playing on his home park. Richard Lowe. Fitzpatrick. There he is leading from the front, the All Black captain. Basher. Lowe. Meets Pina and LaRue.
All Blacks lined out on the left-hand side.
Pienaar took that strong stop on Richard Lowe. Remember, he had the concussion early in the tour. Looks like it's the old blood nose. Gian Strauss warming up on the sideline. Highly experienced player, who of course has captained the South Africans in some of their matches on tour.
Well, here's where the All Blacks have to take an opportunity. It's a perfect attacking scrum. And if you can't score here, this is where you've got to put the pressure on. They've got 2 out right, they've got 4 out left. Will it go right? Look for Zinzan Brock, he could play the part here.
Brook. Basher. Excellent tackle by Henny LaRue. We have seen him tackle superbly on this tour. Jones penalised again. Michael Jones.
Excellent tackling by the South Africans.
Michael Jones penalised. They're going over the top, I think. Bringing in Gavin Johnson to kick for touch. This is a young man who went out to Argentina as a replacement last year, got called into the South African team and landed 22 points in his debut, equaled the all-time South African points record.
The All Blacks didn't defend the sideline too well then. That was a weak kick that should have been cut off because it only just hit the touchline, and the All Blacks weren't in position to stop it.
Brewer. There's that Jones boy again. Rook. Butts. Brewer. Olo Brown. Fritz van Heerden. It's good ball for New Zealand. Rook. Taking the direct route. Pienaar and Swart got him down.
Well, they had men out wide from that phase. Running Zinni off Stephen Basher, but I don't really think was the way to go.
No, they had the numbers again out left. They've knocked the ball on at the base. I really think the All Blacks have got to get the ball wide and have got to try and get Jones out wide. Now they've got a player who can get there. They've got to use the ball on the backs. And there again, they were playing it around the scrum.
Joubert up for pullback. Whoa, it deflected to KIrwan. Straight back to Joubert. A knock-on ruled against KIrwan. Very skillful play there by Andre Joubert.
Certainly was. He took the right option. He was looking for the little kick in behind KIrwan. Didn't, and unfortunately got charged down for him.
Listen to the noise coming off those scrums. Grown men straining with every sinew they've got.
Well done, Williams.
A tap kick taken by South Africa. 50 metres out. Ripped by Venter. Fast hands Mulder. Johnson. Joubert. Richter. There's the 22-metre line. Spinning it through the hands again. Johnson. Allen.
South Africans may feel that having John Allen in the back line was not what they wanted. And here you've got the line-up coming out at a time when you've got the South Africans awarded a penalty right in front of the post.
He may change his mind if it's against the South African.
No, I think it's against Frank Bunce.
But that charge through.
Who made that tackle in the midfield, taking him out after the ball. He's left the penalty where it is.
So there it is. That's an easy one for Johnson. Johnson a try, a conversion, and a penalty today. And that's got South Africa into the lead again. Gavin Johnson. There it is there. The strong
Well, have a
shot.
look here. John Allen gets the ball and unfortunately goes back infield. They did have 2 or 3 backs outside with 2 to beat, so maybe the option is wrong, has led to the penalty.
A quarter of an hour left in this epic series. Basham, the All Blacks in arrears again. Stephen Basham, Joubert. He takes it quickly. He bangs it. He's got the momentum. Chester Williams through. Joubert again. He makes a pass this time to Fenter. To Henny LaRue. Lost forward. New Zealand scrum.
The referee has ruled that Johan Roux has lost the ball, that it was out when Sean Fitzpatrick took him out.
John
South
Medial.
Africans wouldn't agree. Sorry, Stu.
I tell you, these All Blacks, they need a lot more urgency in their play. There was only one runner on that bomb that went out from Stephen Bishop. Not a lot of pressure. There just doesn't seem to be the urgency to get out there and put pressure on them.
There's a drive by Henny LaRue. They're banking on Howarth kicking it to touch or touching it down, and that's what he'll do. So look for the New Zealand drop out here. Good long drive by Henny LaRue. They've been passing along the 22 in recent tests to find a little space, but they may revert to the orthodox. Zinzan Brookie may take it himself. Remember those drop kicks in the second test?
They're wasting a lot of time.
New Zealand behind on the board, 18 to 15. It's 2 tries to 0 to South Africa. There's the pass along the 22. Dear me. Now that won't be a knock-on because the ball hasn't started yet. The game hasn't restarted. Here they go. Jones, it'll be a fast hands. Butts, KIrwan, what a tackle by Henny LaRue. And so they're still back in the 22. Pienaar has dived in. Roux, Van Heerden. Roux again. Mulder. Again, there were men outside. It's gone to New Zealand. Joubert. One of those drives down the touchline. Zinzan Brook. Basham. What a game of football we're seeing. Johnson. Referee says play on. Brook again. KIrwan. Brewer. What a pulsating rugby. Basham. Play on, says the referee. Robin Brook and his brother. Basham and his brother. Michael Jones. A loose one. Ian Jones. Butts. Jones is penalised underneath it all. He'll be very disappointed. What an excellent tour he's had, this symbol of the new South Africa. But it's conceded the penalty. There'll be the shot from Howard, the chance for the game to be tied up again.
Well, once again, the South Africans are making the mistakes at the wrong time. They didn't need to touch that ball. He's penalised them for not releasing it as it was coming back to the All Blacks. And it's 30 yards out from the post, and it's another chance for Shane Howard. And it's a discipline that is causing him with 10 minutes to go. It's a discipline that's really starting to hurt the South Africans. This could be 6 penalty goals.
Colin Meads to the right, who knows so much about New Zealand and South Africa on the rugby field. Laurie Mains, who was in the All Blacks at 2 at South Africa in 1976. So this to tie the game up. 10 minutes to play. Was looking skywards when that kick was being lined up. He couldn't watch. So now all the players in this game have to dig deep once more. Michael Jones has it. Taken quickly by Graham Basham. Michael Jones. Frank Bunce. Ian Jones. Stephen Basham. KIrwan. Brooke. Howard. Michael Brewer. KIrwan, Zinzan Brook clears it. Ilabia, Timu, Bunce. Johnson through on Basham. Here's Timu. Michael Jones driving in hard for the ball. Fitzpatrick.
Are putting the pressure on the South Africans.
So Fitzpatrick is down. New Zealand have grabbed the advantage in possession in the last 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour of the game. Someone like Andre Joubert or Henny LaRue has got to spark South Africa in the last moments to get the win they so desperately need. If it's tense in New Zealand, imagine what it's like in South Africa, where they place enormous store on a victory over the All Blacks, and they haven't had one for the last 4 test matches.
Well, here's a great attacking chance for the All Blacks. What do? They go right with Fitzpatrick, with KIrwan. They're going to try for the push first.
Richter's come off to cover that blind side. You see Richter on the right. Enormous excitement. 7 minutes to play. 18 all.
New Zealanders have got the push on them. I hope they use it this time.
Remember, Zinzanbrook got the try from the pushover in the second test.
Again, looking for the push. They're only 7 yards out.
It's down in the front row on this side, right in front of referee Robert Yeoman. No side would want to give away a penalty in defence in this situation. Not with Howarth kicking the way he is.
The All Blacks, I hope, will move the ball. Brook. Bishop. Jones just short.
It's a knock-on by Michael Jones.
He was all but over the line. Some excellent defence by South Africa. And it's a scrum to the South Africans, but they are hard on defence. Have a look, Bishop gets caught. Who's inside him? Michael Jones. He's only just short. He lets the ball go back, and it's here where the ball goes forward.
It's a marvellous tackle by the South African skipper. Francois Pina, look at that, just drags him down. Oh, he's a good boy.
South Africa will want to get out of here. There's only 5 minutes left on the clock. Their defence has been outstanding. They have managed to keep the All Blacks tryless.
Adrian Richter goes back to the back of the scrum, his 7th test match today. Slowly back. Tian Strauss was warming up. South Africa in defence. 18 all. The ball game has 5 minutes to play. The series has 5 minutes to play. Hooks it away to touch, 15 metres out.
Well, we've had a passage of play for almost 5 minutes where it's been scrum, scrum, scrum. So now we go to a line-out. And it's the All Blacks on attack. Can they do something in the backs to score a try?
New Zealand have done pretty well in the line-outs, as you see from that Unisys statistic. 15 to 10 and cleanly one ball. What a jungle in there. It's a free kick for South Africa. Now they've got to spark something here. They've got to charge their arm.
Penalised for lifting.
There's the pressure of rugby. It didn't quite touch. But now it has. On the second go, it hopped over John KIrwan. And Gavin Johnson a bit lucky. KIrwan, well, a bit unlucky maybe, but perhaps they should have been there for the catch and the pull.
Closing minutes of the game. South Africa now having their opportunity on attack, although it's a New Zealand ball, and the All Blacks have done very well at throw time and jump time.
Robin Brook, Graham Basham, in front of Stephen Basham to Iramia. On his left boot, he's much more secure. Alama Iramia played here for Western Samoa against the All Blacks last year.
I'm sure the South Africans will try to run it here if they get the opportunity. It's their line-out throw.
Hooked down by Van Heerden to Mark Andrews, who tidies it up. Roux, Henny LaRue, it's the high bomb. Howarth's been pretty good under it all day. The referee's blown for it before it came out of the sky. The referee wants to hear the option. Ian McIntosh is now down on the sideline. There have only been 2 drawn matches between New Zealand and South Africa in their long history. 20 wins by South Africa, 18 to New Zealand, and maybe a 3rd drawn game. Let's watch the last 2 minutes unfold. Roux, Joubert. This is going to be interesting, but Howarth's got it covered. Straight back to the 22. All men have got to be behind the 22 and behind the kick. So, Shane Howarth now. Johnson. Well taken by Ian Jones. What a good one he's had today in his comeback. The Bashards. Brook at halfway into Jones. Frank Bunce. Helens onto him. Timu. Frank Bunce. Seconds left. The series. 2 wins to New Zealand in a drawn game so far. Mulder. Chester Williams. Kenny LaRue. The game is over. It's a draw. Sean Fitzpatrick's not quite got the clean sweep, but it's the next best thing, and it's all over. And what a field full of exhausted and drained rugby players we have. 18 all. Francois Pienaar's team scored 2 tries. These people saw it, and so did you. But 6 penalty goals went to Shane Howarth. Some of them were for decisions which were interesting and maybe controversial. The scrum coming down late in the first half. The Fenta punch when he was perhaps retaliating. Ian McIntosh will be devastated. But the series ends with 2 wins and a draw to New Zealand and the draw to South Africa. Desperate disappointment and frustration, I suppose, for everybody involved in the game. The 3rd draw there's been. There was one in 1921. There was one in 1960 in South Africa. There was a 0-all at Wellington in 1921. And now 18 all at Eden Park in Auckland. So the players are coming across for a presentation. Gavin Johnson, who played such a big role for South Africa, he came through it pretty well, landed a try, 2 conversions, 1 conversion and 2 penalties. And I don't know about you, John, but I suppose there's a sense of frustration at the end of a game which pulsated up and down the field and nobody wins.
Well, I think the South Africans will feel particularly frustrated because they made the play at Eden Park today. They scored 2 tries to none. They looked a more attacking side, the more adventurous side, but they made mistakes, and they've made it right through this tour, and under pressure made mistakes which have cost them dearly, and the All Blacks have kicked themselves into a draw, and the South Africans will go home 2 tests down, a draw. Very disappointing from their point of view. I'm not sure the All Blacks would be totally happy, however, as they lead towards the Australian Bledisloe Cup match in 10 days' time.
So right through at the back you see Ian McIntosh. A lot of pressure on him. 2 tests and a draw now. And satisfaction for him today that his team played so much better, but that will be thin gruel for him and Francois Pienaar and South African rugby to sup on. I think you can sense from the looks on these players' faces that they are drained here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you to you, Mr. Peter Burke, the President of the New Zealand Rugby Football Union.
Thank you, Rob. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Eden Park. Well, I think you'll all agree we've seen a wonderful game of rugby this afternoon. And I want to congratulate both teams on their performance. And firstly, I want to congratulate the All Blacks, of course, on winning the Steinlager series, and also for the South Africans for their performance this afternoon, and for their performances right throughout the tour. They've always intended to play entertaining and attractive rugby, and they've been a very, very popular team. I hope that it won't be long. I hope that it won't be long before they'll be back on New Zealand soil. I want to wish them bon voyage and a safe trip home, and thank them very much for coming. The other thing, an important thing I want to say, is to the general public and all the supporters right throughout New Zealand who have supported the series this year, thank you for supporting rugby. We're extremely proud of you all, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Peter Burke.
It's my pleasure
Now
to
Rob Fisher.
introduce to you the Chief Operating Officer of Lion Nathan, today a much happier Mr. Kevin Roberts, to present the Steinlager salver to Sean Fitzpatrick, Captain of the All Blacks.
Thank you, Rob. On behalf of Lion Nathan and Steinlager, I'd like to congratulate the Boks and the Blacks for a fantastic series and for reminding us what Test missed you. We're looking forward to South Africa next year. And to Laurie, Sean and the boys, you beauties!
The inimitable Kevin Roberts. Sean Fitzpatrick now.
Firstly, to you, Francois and the Springboks, fantastic effort today. You had your backs to the wall. I knew you'd come out firing, you definitely did. It was a credit to you. You scored the only tries in the match. And to the All Blacks, thank you. It's been a wonderful series. I've been privileged to lead an All Black side against the Springbok side. I think it's an honour to the Springboks, and it's the way we respect the Springboks, the way we played today. Thank you, it's been an honour. And thanks to the people of Auckland, and thanks to the people of New Zealand. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Ladies and gentlemen, it's tough to stand up here, and you've been beaten in the series. But we're just happy that we could come out here today in sunshine and show you that the Springboks can spin the ball wide and score some fantastic tries. We had a very, very pleasant and wet tour of New Zealand. But we want to thank the people of New Zealand. Wherever we've went, they've welcomed us with open arms. They've been friendly, they've been supporting us, and for us to be back, it's a great privilege and a very, very big honor. To my guys, chaps, thank you very much. A tough tour. I think you played tremendous today. You can be very proud of yourselves. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite you to come to our beautiful country next year for the biggest World Cup you'll ever see. Thank you.
So there it is, the moment when both teams reflect on the series which goes to New Zealand and the drawn test match today. And sympathy for the South Africans, I think, from everyone. They played so well, they scored the tries, but they didn't win the game. And obviously they haven't won the series. But what a game it was, sweeping up and down this famous rugby field in 80 minutes of pulsating action. And now the traditional farewell song, Now Is the Hour.
You'll be sailing far across the sea while you're away. Oh, please remember me. When you return, you'll find us waiting here. Okay, that's how it goes. Everyone, let's go.
Out of the top 12 finishes in the Rally of New Zealand, 6
Mitsubishi Lancers. If you find that surprising, maybe it's time you drove one yourself.
Join the All Black Club. And back at Eden Park, the stadium emptying at Eden Park at the end of an epic test match. A vigorous struggle and a drawn result. South Africa 18, New Zealand 18. 2 wins and a draw to New Zealand. The series is over. Let's go underneath the stand where Stu Wilson is with Sean Fitzpatrick.
Well, Sean, firstly, how'd the game go? Did it go to plan?
Well, I think our biggest problem, Stu, was the ball retention once again. We coughed the ball up too often and gave them opportunities, which they capitalised on, which is wonderful. They threw everything at us. We knew they'd do that. And it's a credit to the South Africans, the way they came back at us and obviously scored those 2 tries.
Do you think they were a little bit more fizzed up in this one than the previous 2 tests?
As the game wore on, they definitely got a fizz on, and I think we helped that by giving them the ball and opportunities where they could create try-scoring opportunities. But they're a side, they're a proud side, and I think they showed today that they are a team to be reckoned with in world rugby. And as Francois said at the end there, he said, "We'll look forward to having you in South Africa next year. I'm sure they'll be a great side."
Little concern that they sneaked 2 tries against you, and we had to rely on Howie to kick 6 penalties or 5 penalties.
Oh, that's rugby, and we've lost test matches like that, Stu, and you know all about that. But as I said, it's a credit to South Africa for the way they came back and scored those 2 tries. And I'm just thrilled for the guys. And here we obviously learned another lesson today, and we'll have to learn from those and take those onto the Bledisloe Cup in 10 days' time.
Any of those little secrets you're going to give away?
Oh, no.
We're only live to Australia.
I don't think we showed too much out there today, Stu. We've got a bit of work to do out there, and it's great. We won the series, and that's what we've got to think of, is that we beat South Africa at home, which is great, and it was an honour to play against them, and obviously a thrill to lead a side to beat them.
Well, Sean Fitzpatrick, you stay right there, because I can tell you now that we're going out to the car park with Phil Leishman, who has your mother and father beside him. We'll hear from them.
Okay.
Thanks, Stu, and thank you, Sean. Yes, I have the very happy parents, Brian and Louise. And what was your feeling about the series, Brian?
Well, Philip, it's Louise's turn today to give the comments.
That's an interesting thought, isn't it? Louise, well, let's start with you. What are your thoughts?
I thought they were very good. I was very happy with them all and very pleased with the result today. I'm glad it's over, though.
Yes, you've been feeling the pressure as well?
True, but I certainly salute the Springbok. It was tremendous the way that they have come back in this 3rd test. And when I looked through the program in Wellington and I saw 1 test, no test, 2 tests, 3 tests, no test, how marvellously well they have done. And come next year in South Africa, I am certain we're going to be thrilled by them. I salute them.
Well, there we are. Good comments there from Brian and Louise, and thank you, and enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thank you very much, Philip.
We're going back to Michael Jones, I believe, is now with Stu.
Thank you very much, Phil. Well, Michael, I've seen a number of players hit Eden Park in my day, but I don't think I've ever seen a reserve come off the bench and get a reception from your home crowd. Were you delighted with that?
I felt very honoured. I mean, it was really a nice surprise. I mean, I was just happy to be out there, but when I could feel the crowd support, then it just made me pick up my game, extra 20%.
Michael, it was a standing ovation. I mean, they got off their seats. And what about the game? Did you feel okay when you came on in the second half?
Oh, I was really keen. I mean, it was just, like I said, great to be out there, and I was firstly just felt great to be part of the squad, but to actually get out on the field, it was unfortunate for Blair, but when you get on, you've got to be ready and you've got to take your chances. So, I just had to pick up where he left off.
And Michael, was it what you expected against these tourists? They're physical and hard and fairly brutal.
Yeah, I think the first time I got the ball, I got smashed by about 3 of them, and I knew it was my welcome back into the test match rugby.
What about when you came back into the All Black camp? Were you happy with the way things were going? Were the boys happy to see you?
Oh yeah, it's always good to just be back with the boys. You make good friends over the years, and you just slot straight back in, and they make you feel as if you never were away. So it's really that's the spirit of the team, which is good.
Well, Mike, we're going to have a look at a little tape here that shows the near try that you got. Yeah. Little Stevie Bishop did pretty well here.
Yeah, I should have. I think I should have stretched and put it over my head or something.
Do you think they would have sold a few more books if they got that try?
I was more worried just about hopefully getting the points to secure the match, but as it turned out, it wasn't to be, and Springboks got the draw. So, looking at that, it was probably a bit hard to put over my head.
Michael, that was actually quite a good try from Francois Pena for stopping that try.
Yeah, well, he's obviously Francois is a world-class player, and I've played him once before, and I was looking forward to maybe having another chance of playing him, and I got my chance, and we have a mutual respect for each other, and it was just great to be out there with, marking him.
And Michael, it's, in the All Blacks saying, never give a sucker a break. You're back. You're going to go for everything now?
Definitely. That's what it's all about. You've got to take your breaks, and you've just got to onwards and upwards from here.
Just roll with the punches?
Yeah.
Not literally, though.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, onwards and upwards, yeah.
Michael, thank you very much for chatting to us, and a great game today.
Thank you very much, Stu. Thank you.
Right out in the car park, Les Mills is with Philip Leishman. Philip Leishman gets all the stars to talk to.
Oh, yes, indeed, and thank you, Stu. Well, Mayor Les Mills, what do you think?
Well, it was a great test, but not a great game of footy. It's always good to come to Eden Park where there's 50,000 people. That's exciting, but I just wish they'd seen a slightly more exciting game. I think we were a bit lucky, frankly, Phil, to get out of it with a draw.
Are you encouraged by New Zealand's performance? Do you think they're going to go on from here now? Or how do you feel about the Bledisloe Cup, for instance?
Oh, I think we're going to have a rough game with Australia, but I am encouraged after the French series. I think they've come back pretty strong. Great to see them win the series. I mean, that was fabulous.
Les, thank you for joining us. I see another familiar face, if you'll excuse me over here. Martin Snedden is here. Martin, how are you?
G'day, Phil.
What do you think?
Well, I'm tremendously proud, really, of the All Blacks to go through a 3-test series against South Africa and not to lose a game. When you look back at the history of the games between the two countries, that's a fantastic effort.
There seems a bit of a low-key atmosphere out here at the moment. People are walking around sort of saying, well, it's all over type thing. Do you think people are disappointed?
Well, maybe they are, and I think perhaps that's a trait of New Zealand sports followers, that they're a little bit too hard. I think if you talk to the All Blacks in perhaps 2 months' time, they'll look back and they'll think we did a pretty good job today.
Well, Martin, I know that we'll be very interested in the comments now of the South African manager, Yanni Engelbrecht, who's back with Stu. Yeah.
Well, Yanni Engelbrecht, the manager of the 1994 South African tour to New Zealand. Firstly, are you reasonably happy with the way your team played today to get an 18-all draw?
Yes, I'm happy. At least we scored 2 tries, and the All Blacks didn't score any tries.
Well, let's have a look at those 2 tries. I mean, I thought that the first try by Johnson was an excellent try, and I think he might have caught the All Blacks a little unaware.
Yes, but I mean, Johnson is a good player, and he really deserved that try. And I think it was a pretty good try.
Was it a gamble to take Johnson onto the wing, even though his kicking was, and obviously his try-scoring ability is good? Was it any way a gamble for you guys?
No, not at all, because Johnson used to play for his own province on the wing, or in fullback position, or on fly-off. So it doesn't matter where he plays, he's a good player.
The way we saw it on television just before half-time, the collapsed scrum, that you were given a penalty against you, which we kicked and nibbled it up to about 3 points away. Crucial decision at the time of the game.
Yes, I think that the forwards had made a big mistake there, and but I've got to admit that we were struggling up front, and most probably that's why it has happened.
And how do you think the tour's gone? I mean, have you been happy with the 14-match tour? Obviously, the results, but have the boys been happy? Have they learned how to, that this is a tough country to tour, as you know?
Well, I can tell you that the boys really enjoyed the tour. I've got a couple of statistics which you don't know about, and I would like to read it to you quickly.
Yeah, sure you can.
21 tour, 79% of the games they won. 37 tour, 94% of the games won. 56, 70% won. 65, 79%. 81, 78%, and 94, 79%. So the tour was a great success. We only lost a series, that's all. Otherwise, been a great success.
Ian McIntosh, I mean, I've always found a very friendable person here in New Zealand. He's smiling, he's still smiling even after a series loss. Is he going to be smiling when he gets back to South Africa?
Well, I think we'll all be smiling back home. We have enjoyed the tour tremendously, and we're going back happy people, and we'll just get ready for the World Cup, that's all.
Yanni, is there anything you've actually, anything that sticks out over here with our rugby that perhaps you need to bring back into your style?
Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate the New Zealand Rugby Football Union and the way they were preparing the grounds. When I played there in '65, I mean, it was just ordinary mud baths. That has improved to such an extent that they are most of them are in a very good condition. Then you people are playing very physical. Whether we have played now a second league team, I can tell you they are so physical and they play so hard. And I think we've got to take a feather from your cap there. And definitely going back, we must work on that as well.
Yanni, let's reverse that around. Is there anything that we could take from your style of rugby through this tour?
Yes, I think that you will have to adapt to more of a 15-man type of rugby. You overdo actually your forward play, although you are very good in it, but I think you are going to pay the penalty once you get to harder grounds, like for instance South Africa or all those places.
Players like Mark Andrew have really come on this tour. You'd be happy with this form?
Yes, I think Mark Andrews will become a great. He's still a youngster, and personally, I think he'll really get to the top.
Kenny, thank you very much for coming to our country, and have a safe journey back to South Africa.
Well, we've got to thank you, the country, the countrymen, rugby people, everybody. You've been so kind to us. We've enjoyed this stay tremendously. Personally, I'll come back, and I think a lot of the players would like to come back, but thank you all very much.
We'd like to see you back too.
Thank you.
All right, back in the car park, Phil Leishman is out there amongst the boot parties with Bob Howard.
Thanks, Stu, having a good old time out here and getting loads of comment too. Bob, what was your feeling about the match?
Well, it's not a game that is going to make people tingle as they wander away. I think it's just as well it was a very close game on the board, because the quality of the rugby wasn't great. It was frankly disappointing. I expected a lot more.
Do you think there'll be a bit of a question now? Laurie Mains will have to face the critics again that, Bledisloe Cup, are we prepared for Australia?
Well, the crunch now comes when we play Australia. That's going to be the... We've probably got to find just a little bit more zing in there. The backline disappointed me today. I'm delighted that Michael Jones arrived, and he's a class act. Michael, I think, is in there, and we're going to look forward now to Michael getting over to the World Cup next year.
All right, Bob. Well, we've got a couple of players alongside who certainly know what international rugby is about. I'll go and interrupt them. Excuse me, boys. How are you doing? Bernie, good to see you. What do you think?
Indifferent, I suppose. Intensive sort of game, and quite enjoyed it while the game was over, but as soon as it's finished, it's like you feel flat. No one's won the game, and I don't really think we're doing enough out there. We're getting into positions and then turning the ball over, and we're not creating opportunities to score tries. And I guess I feel sorry for the wingers. They're not really getting the ball from any situation.
Well, we've got boots and all coming up, but we could have our mini boots and all out here. Richard Turner's joined us as well. Richard, what were your thoughts?
Well, I had quite a pretty poor seat, so I'm going to watch the replay on TV tomorrow, and hopefully it's better. Like Bernie said, they just lacked a lot of ball retention, and they got themselves into some good situations and then turned the pill over, and the South Africans managed to escape from some pretty tricky situations. But yeah, it is pretty flat, 18 all, and no one's really won it, and that's a little bit disappointing, but I think we've got to be pretty happy with that.
Well, there they are, the thoughts of the guys who should know, Bernie McCahill and Richard Turner. Well, that is the scene out here at the car park. We'll have more later on for you. In the meantime, here's Stu.
Thank you, Phil. With me now is Laurie Mains, the coach of the All Blacks. Well, Laurie, how was the training through the week? Did we see the team play as they trained throughout the week?
No, we certainly didn't have that level of mistake rate during the week. That was disappointing. We just didn't get our game going because, we made basic errors, knock-ons, drop the pass, bad passes, that sort of thing. At other times, we did start moving it forward and it looked like we could have done something.
Do you think they put a little bit more pressure on you in this test than the previous two?
No, I don't think so. I think both sides really wanted the game. But maybe mentally, both sides made a lot of mistakes. And it may have been the pressure of the occasion. I'm not sure that they, I don't think they were any, more intense than they'd been at Wellington or Dunedin.
What about going into the game knowing that the series is all wrapped up? Is it hard to wind the guys up, keep their minds in focus?
Well, that's a difficulty, particularly with the huge build-up we had going into Wellington. It was hard, and you can't just recapture that because it's a different game, different set of circumstances. We were obviously close to it, but not quite there. In fact, the first 20 minutes, I thought we were there. We moved the ball well, and it looked like we were keen to play some rugby. And then at the stage we got 6 up, it just sort of dropped off a little bit.
It was unbelievably furious opening 3 minutes. I've never seen some more passes in a basketball game.
No, well, that was the idea, was to speed the game up and move it around. But as I say, I think once we got 6 up, that top 2 inches just dropped its intensity a little bit, and the mistakes started to come in.
They seemed to be a little bit hesitant in that second half or first half. They just sat back and waited for the South Africa. Maybe they should have taken it to them.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we set out to do, was attack them, not only with the ball, but attack them in defence as well. And we did. We just sat back for that second 20 minutes of that first half.
A little bit of frustration out there. The boys feeling frustrated now that they didn't quite do the 3-0.
I think they're terribly disappointed with their mistake rate. When you have an incident of errors like that, you just can't get your pattern going, and I think that's what they're frustrated at. But on the other hand, delighted to have won a series and come out of it without a loss. Yeah.
Can we just give us the secret oil about when the All Blacks team will be going to be announced that go to Australia?
My understanding is that's Monday.
Monday?
Yep.
Definitely, Laurie.
Well, it certainly won't be any later than that.
You've really got to give the South Africans credit for the 2 tries they scored against you. They were 2 slick tries.
They were 2 slick tries, and both of them created, after we'd lost position on the ground, but they took them well.
Laurie Mains, thank you very much for having a chat to us.
Okay, Stu, thanks.
Well, a good win, or good draw, 18 draw to the draw today, 18 all South Africa, New Zealand. We're now going to take a short break, but after that we're going to come back and have a look at the entire tour that South Africa had this year, starting from that game way back in the King Country on the 23rd of June. Stay with us.